Welcome to a special edition of World News. Tonight, final push. The candidates in a frenzied election eve crusade.
I need your vote.
The time for change has come. It all's up to you.
Final pitch. McCain and Obama tell us why they should be elected.
We need a champion for middle-class families so they can achieve the American dream.
6 words: duty, honor, and country, reform, prosperity, and peace.
And finally, ready. Voters are anxious to cast their ballots. Are election officials prepared to handle the crush?
From ABC News Election Headquarters, this is a special edition of World News with Charles Gibson.
Good evening from our studios in Times Square, where we have done a bit of remodeling, as you can see. Tomorrow night, Diane Sawyer, George Stephanopoulos, and I, and many others, will be here for many hours until we know who the next president will be and what the makeup of the next Congress will be. The presidential candidates are keeping frenetic schedules to the very end, making impassioned pleas to supporters. By midnight, Barack Obama and Joe Biden will have touched down in half a dozen battleground states, holding 7 different events, while John McCain and Sarah Palin's schedules will take them to 10 states and a dozen events. This has been a sad day for Senator Obama, who learned early this morning that his grandmother, the woman who raised him, has died. We have reports from both campaigns, and we'll start with Jake Tapper, who is with the Obama campaign in Charlotte, North Carolina. One more time, Jake, good evening.
Good evening, Charlie. Well, Senator Barack Obama and his sister Maya have issued a statement about their grandmother, who died late last night, saying she was a woman of extraordinary accomplishment, strength, and humility, the person who encouraged and allowed us to take chances. She left this world with the knowledge that her impact on all of us was meaningful and enduring. Our debt to her is beyond measure. 11 days ago, concerned he would never get to see his ailing grandmother ever again, Barack Obama flew to Hawaii to say goodbye. He took a reflective walk, and in an interview with ABC News' Robin Roberts, talked about the woman who helped raise him.
She's really been one of the cornerstones of my life, and she's a remarkable woman.
Obama found out about her death this morning before a rally in Florida, where his reflection was far more political. He reminded voters what John McCain had said about the economy in the exact same location 7 weeks before.
John McCain just doesn't get it. Remember what he said when he was here in Jacksonville on September 15th.
The morning headlines that September day announced the failure of 2 major investment banks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeted more than 500 points.
And yet, despite our economic crisis, John McCain actually came here to Veterans Memorial Arena and repeated something he said at least 16 times on this campaign. He said, and I quote, "The fundamentals of our economy are strong."
The Obama campaign now believes that to have been a pivotal moment of the campaign. The week before, an ABC News Washington Post poll indicated that Obama only had a slim lead over John McCain on the question of whom voters most trust to handle the economy. 2 weeks after the McCain comment, Obama had surged on that crucial issue, and his other poll numbers went up as well. Obama came to Jacksonville today to energize African-American voters in this key battleground state where he and McCain are neck and neck in the polls. From now until the polls close tomorrow night, Obama will be in states President Bush won twice: North Carolina, Virginia, and tomorrow a quick stop in Indiana. These last few days are all about rallying Democratic voters in Republican-leaning states. Jake Tapper, ABC News, Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'm David Wright with the McCain campaign. As John McCain barnstorms his way across the country,
Indiana is now a battleground state, but it's a battle that we're going to win.
the speeches are shorter
We're going to win Pennsylvania tomorrow.
and the days much longer.
We got to have all our rallies at this time of night, I'm telling you.
At a midnight rally in Miami, 10,000 people turned out to welcome McCain.
This is the kind of intensity, this is the momentum that we will win Florida and we will win this election.
McCain's running mate, Sarah Palin, is stopping today in Ohio, Missouri, Iowa, Colorado, and Nevada.
I'll tell you, this is the right place to be for us to kick off this final day of campaigning. This is the right place to be.
Most of the work is done. All the ads have been bought. The speech has been written. The schedule's been planned. But we got to go out and execute today, and then the turnout operations got to execute for us tomorrow.
They may not know it, but the Mac is back.
But he's forced to play defense. All but one of the states he's targeting today voted for Bush in 2004. McCain is hoping to keep them in the Republican column.
I'm John McCain.
On Saturday Night Live, McCain poked fun at himself for lacking the resources his opponent enjoys.
Barack Obama purchased airtime on 3 major networks. We, however, can only afford QVC.
Last night in New Hampshire, McCain held the last town hall meeting of his campaign.
One more time, my friends.
Peterborough Town Hall was where he closed out his New Hampshire primary campaign in 2000 and held his 100th town hall meeting this year.
I come to the people of New Hampshire.
Tonight, well after midnight, McCain wraps up his day in Prescott, Arizona, where his hero, Barry Goldwater, ended his presidential campaign in 1964. But McCain is not trying to repeat history. Goldwater lost that race in a Democratic landslide. Charlie?
David Wright, our thanks to you as well as to Jake Tapper. And we have the results of our latest 4-day tracking poll. It shows Barack Obama maintaining an 11-point lead. And our chief Washington correspondent, George Stephanopoulos, joins me now at our touchscreen, where we're going to spend a good part of tomorrow night. And, George, I want to start with the possibilities, how each candidate wins. And the thing people need to keep in mind is that 270 electoral votes are needed to win. 270 is the key number. Now, when we go back to 2004, and you look at this map, the red states are the states George Bush carried, the blue states carried by John Kerry. Bush had 286. Kerry had 252. So how does Barack Obama get those 18 extra electoral votes?
Actually shows the advantages he brings into tomorrow night. He's ahead right now in all of the states that John Kerry won. He's also leading in at least 8 states that George Bush won. Start out at Virginia early in the night, 7 o'clock. Watch what happens if he wins Virginia tomorrow night.
If he wins Virginia, already he's up to 265.
Which means he only needs to win 1 more Bush state later in the evening, in Iowa, where he's well ahead right now to get 272, or even a New Mexico later in the evening. That gets him to 270.
All right, that would get him to 270, but there are still all kinds of states that George Bush won that John McCain is having trouble defending, like Florida is 1, or North Carolina is 2, Virginia 3, Ohio 4, Indiana 5, Missouri 6, and it goes across the country.
He's leading right now in at least 8 states that Bush won last time around, which is why John McCain has spent so much time focused on the state of Pennsylvania. So many of his maps start with taking that state away from the Democrats tomorrow night.
If he does take Pennsylvania, if he can carry Pennsylvania, then he would be up to 307.
And then, even if Barack Obama wins Virginia and Iowa and Colorado and New Mexico, John McCain still has the 273 electoral votes he needs.
Which is why Pennsylvania is so critical to John McCain.
Polls close at 8 o'clock.
We're going to have some fun at this touchscreen tomorrow night. George Stephanopoulos, thanks. Well, there have been millions and millions of dollars spent on paid advertising by the presidential campaigns in this election. It's our feeling here at World News that the candidates deserve a chance, without paying for it, to have a couple of minutes to make a final pitch, to state their central argument. So we begin with Senator Barack Obama. You've been campaigning for 20 months. Why should this country elect you?
I would argue that over the last 8 years, we've pursued a particular approach to the economy that says we give more and more to those with the most. We basically say to middle-class families, you're on your own, and that somehow everything was going to work itself out. It hasn't. And the central premise of my campaign has been that we need a champion for middle-class families who are working hard so they can make it, so they can achieve the American dream. And that specifically means that I'm providing tax cuts to 95% of working families, that we're going to fix our health care system so that it works for every American and we lower premiums, that we make sure that we have an education system where not only are we reforming the system, but we're also making college more affordable, that we have an energy policy in this country that frees ourselves from dependence on foreign oil and potentially creates millions of new green jobs all across America, and that we have a foreign policy that is not hamstrung by our presence in Iraq, but is focused on going after al-Qaeda, snuffing out bin Laden and those folks who killed 3,000 Americans, and restores our moral standing in the world.
Why should Americans put aside the experience argument and pick you?
Well, I don't think they should put aside the experience argument. I think people have been able to take measure of me over the last 2 years, and I think what they can come away saying is, this is somebody who's not a flash in the pan. This is somebody who takes his responsibilities seriously, and most importantly, I hope people come away saying, this is a guy who's going to wake up every single day when he's in the White House, and he's going to fight for me, who cares about people and cares about ordinary families, and is in this for the right reasons.
Senator Obama making his case on the eve of this election. We also sat down with Senator John McCain last week, and we asked him to make his case. To sum it up in the brief argument, why should this country vote for John McCain?
6 words: duty, honor, and country, reform, prosperity, and peace. I've spent my whole life serving my country as an advocate of reform and honesty and integrity in government. And I will continue that battle. That means reforming the way we do business in Washington, restoring trust and confidence. Prosperity, clearly there are huge differences between myself and Senator Obama on all of our economic outlook. We will bring this country out of the ditch by creating millions and millions of jobs through alternative energy, through keeping spending down and keeping taxes low. Peace. I know our enemies and I know our friends. I know how to deal with them. We're in 2 wars. And I've served my country all my life. And I know who our friends are, and I know who our enemies are, and I know how to secure the peace and bring our troops home with victory and with honor. And so I believe that I need no on-the-job training. I'm ready to continue what I've done all my life, put my country first, and serve a cause greater than my self-interest, and inspire a generation of Americans to do the same.
You come out of a party that is not particularly popular right now. How do you overcome that obstacle and the obstacle of running in the shadow of a president who is not popular?
I have to tell my party that reform is mandatory. We have seen scandal after scandal that has afflicted our party. We have to return to the principles of Abraham Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt and Ronald Reagan. Not only the principles, but the practices.
The 2 candidates. Tomorrow, you make the choice, and in about 36 hours, one of them will be president-elect of the United States. Still ahead on World News, inside one of the nastiest Senate races. It's a big money, big name contest, and we look at the congressional races nationwide. And with a crush of voters expected at the polls, fears the system could be overwhelmed tomorrow.
I always thought calcium and vitamin D and exercise would keep my bones healthy. But I got osteoporosis anyway, so my doctor started me on once-monthly Boniva. And he told me something important. Boniva works with your body to help stop and reverse bone loss. My test results proved I was able to stop and reverse my bone loss with Boniva. And studies show after 1 year on Boniva, 9 out of 10 women did too.
Don't take Boniva if you have low blood calcium, severe kidney disease, or can't sit or stand for at least 1 hour. Follow dosing instructions carefully. Stop taking Boniva and tell your doctor if you have difficult or painful swallowing, chest pain, or severe or continuing heartburn, as these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems. If severe bone, joint, and or muscle pain develops, tell your doctor.
I've got this one body and this one life, so I wanted to stop my bone loss. But I did more than that. I reversed it with Boniva. Ask your doctor if Boniva is right for you.
Boniva helps stop and reverse bone loss.
It seems like every day, science discovers another reason why the nutrients in orange juice are good for you. And the list just keeps growing. So don't miss your morning glass. Florida orange juice. Healthy, pure and simple.
Dad? It's time. You'd be a really nice catch for somebody. Please?
Just for Men takes 5 easy minutes, targets only the gray hair, and can start something great.
Yes!
Just for Men.
Burning, itching. I should have used Preparation H.
And for extra relief, use Preparation H medicated wipes first. Unlike most ordinary wipes, they relieve while you clean. Then use Maximum Strength Cream. Preparation H, the relief expert.
For years, low-dose aspirin has been a cornerstone of heart attack prevention. Today, there's Bayer with Heart Advantage. Ask your doctor about the only low-dose aspirin product that helps lower the risk of heart attack and lowers cholesterol. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin or modify an aspirin regimen.
While the presidential race is getting the lion's share of attention, both parties are fighting hard in high-stakes Senate races across the country. 35 Senate seats are to be filled tomorrow night. 12 currently held by Democrats, many more, 23 held by Republicans. One state where Democrats see an opening is North Carolina. Incumbent Elizabeth Dole, with her marquee name, wife of Bob Dole, is locked in a tough race with challenger Kay Hagan. The race has been bitter and expensive. ABC's Jonathan Karl reports from Raleigh.
Hi, everybody. You got it? Thank you. Thank you. Do you have time for one more?
She still has star power, but Elizabeth Dole is struggling. To understand why, ask Chester the barber. For 52 years, he's been cutting hair and talking politics in Pittsboro, North Carolina.
So who's going to win this Senate race, Elizabeth Dole?
I don't know. I'm going to vote for Miss Dole, but I don't believe she's going to win.
And why?
Because the president has been to run the country so darn bad, I think it's hurt the Republican Party the way that President Bush has done.
The economic crisis has hit North Carolina hard. So far this year, the state has lost nearly 30,000 jobs.
Democratic challenger Kay Hagan, a little-known state senator when this race started, has gone from long shot to frontrunner.
I am truly a contrast versus Elizabeth Dole, who has been ineffective. She votes with President Bush 92% of the time.
It's not accurate. It's not 92, and also this year it's like 55%. And again, you know, the issue, it depends on the issue. If it's something that I believe in, it's always North Carolina first.
The race has turned nasty. The Dole campaign hitting Hagan for alleged ties to a group that wants to take under God out of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Godless Americans and Kay Hagan. She hid from cameras, took godless money. What did Hagan promise in return?
There is no God.
That's not Hagan's voice, as she quickly pointed out.
Well, I believe in God. I taught Sunday school. My faith guides my life, and Senator Dole knows it.
But look at this from Hagan, appearing to play the age card.
I've read she's 92.
Did I just tell you she's 93?
No, 92% of the time she votes with Bush.
Her back against the wall, the 72-year-old Dole is running hard. At the state fair, she invited us on a roller coaster.
We're just having fun.
A wild ride. Not, she insists, a metaphor for her campaign.
Wow.
Jonathan Karl, ABC News, Raleigh, North Carolina.
And George is back at the touchscreen with me here again to talk about the Senate. George, the current Senate, the Democrats have 51 seats, the Republicans have 49. But let's go to the maps where the Senate races actually are going to occur. The dark gray states here, the darker gray, where there are Senate races and seats to be filled, the lighter gray, where there are no Senate seats.
It's 35 at stake, but only 11 really competitive, all held by Republicans. And what we see so far is already Republicans have basically conceded 3 of the states. Virginia, the former Governor Mark Warner for the Democrats, Mark Udall here in Colorado, his cousin Tom, first cousin, Tom Udall in New Mexico. Republicans already say Democrats are going to pick up those 3 seats.
So the Republicans themselves think the Democrats will win those 3 seats.
And then there are 5 more seats where Democrats are leading but are still highly competitive. We just saw North Carolina, Elizabeth Dole, also New Hampshire, Minnesota, Oregon, and of course Alaska down here. That's Ted Stevens' seat. Democrats leading in all 5 of those right now, but they are very, very close. And finally, Charlie, there are 3 Senate seats that a year ago no one thought would be competitive, all in the South. Now they are.
Georgia's won.
That's right, Mississippi. And this is the big one, Kentucky. The Republican leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, in the fight of his life right now in Kentucky. Another early state tomorrow night. Again, Democrats need to pick up 9 seats to get to the 60 they would need to break any filibuster. They got a shot at it tomorrow night.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell important because he is the Republican leader in the Senate, and
That's
if
right.
he loses, they don't have leadership in the Senate.
They'll have another leadership fight.
All right, we will be covering the Senate again as well tomorrow night, and the House races on this board. Coming up, why a record voter turnout could produce record problems at the polls.
I volunteered. I was drafted.
I enlisted.
I was nervous.
And there I was in Asia, Europe,
the Gulf. And I saw things.
incredible things.
And people you never forget. I did my job.
For my country,
My buddies,
for total strangers.
And I was proud.
So grateful.
For my family. My freedom.
For all who served and all who serve, we can never thank them enough.
Thermacare wants to know, where does it hurt? My knees. Target the pain with Thermacare heat wraps. Thermacare delivers real heat that penetrates deep to relax tight muscles all day. Nice. Try Thermacare heat wraps and wear it where it hurts.
For the price of a night in, how about a night out? Introducing Applebee's 2 for $20 menu. One great appetizer to share, 2 amazing entrees, and lots of choice. Applebee's 2 for $20, the best deal in the neighborhood.
If you have a history of smoking and breathing problems, it could be COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis, emphysema, or both. Discover Spiriva, the only once-daily inhaled maintenance prescription that treats both forms of COPD. Spiriva significantly improves lung function to help you breathe better for a full 24 hours. And it's not a steroid. Spiriva is not a rescue inhaler. Tell your doctor about your medicines, even eye drops, and illnesses like glaucoma and urinary or prostate problems. These may worsen with Spiriva. The most common side effect is dry mouth. Others include constipation and problems passing urine. In the event your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes, or eye pain, stop taking Spiriva and call your doctor. Spiriva is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor.
Make a habit of breathing better with Spiriva.
The interest in this campaign has been so high that officials are bracing for what could be the largest voter turnout in U.S. history tomorrow. 121 million people voted in 2004. As many as 140 million could cast ballots this year. That many people could potentially swamp the system. Jim Avila tomorrow will be on Ballot Watch.
Columbus, Ohio, this morning, the Board of Elections checks the vault for early votes. An estimated 1.5 million already cast in Ohio before Election Day, and all of them under elaborate lock and key, not to be counted until Tuesday night. Ohio alone has more than 650,000 newly registered, and an army of lawyers is moving in to monitor this ultimate of battleground states.
Most of your monitors.
Donita Judge from the Advancement Project, a watchdog group, says she wants to make sure every vote is counted.
People will still be in the lines come 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Across the country, estimates are as many as 10 million new voters are registered. It's not just the inconvenience of long lines that is feared. There is real concern the dirty little secret of American democracy may be exposed.
We're just not prepared in this country for elections in which there is full participation.
Trouble spots, African-American neighborhoods like those in Richmond, Virginia, where turnout is routinely lower, so election officials have fewer machines. 1 for every 400 voters, compared to 1 for 220 in the predominantly white precincts. Tens of thousands of new voters could find themselves purged from the rolls for technicalities and forced to cast a provisional ballot. Others could run into electronic machines that flip their votes, badly calibrated so it chooses a different candidate than the voter did. Remarkably, 12 states use these touchscreen machines without a paper trail backup. Bottom line, patience, as Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell reminds voters.
The election machinery in this state wasn't built for a 75–80% turnout.
So far, efforts to extend voting hours in places where long lines are expected have been denied. So the key here is, if you are in line when the polls close, you are entitled to vote. So stay in line and wait, no matter how long it takes. Charlie?
Jim Avila on Ballot Watch, thanks to you. And we'll be back. Stay with us.
Wherever good can overcome, that is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
Constipation, bloating, gas,
diarrhea. People, is your colon sending you a message? Now there's new Philips Colon Health with probiotics. It helps naturally restore the balance in your digestive system, so you can avoid those very unpleasant symptoms with new Philips Colon Health.
Why let heartburn stop you when you can stop heartburn? Just one Zantac with a cool mint sensation can knock it out all day or all night for strong, lasting relief. Heartburn? Attack it. Zantac.
When it comes to quitting smoking, are you a tortoise or a hare? If you're a tenacious tortoise determined to quit, take the first step. See your doctor and ask if prescription Chantix is right for you. The Chantix approach is a pill with a program. And take note, it's a non-nicotine pill. It helps keep nicotine from reaching key receptors in the brain. It can effectively reduce that urge to smoke. And because slip-ups happen, you can't have too much support. So include your doctor, friends and family, and consider Get Quit, a support plan for Chantix users. If you notice agitation, depressed mood, or changes in behavior that are not typical for you, or if you develop suicidal thoughts or actions, stop taking Chantix and call your doctor right away. Some patients have had these symptoms while taking or after stopping Chantix. Talk to your doctor about any history of depression or other mental health problems which may worsen while taking Chantix. Tell your doctor which medicines you're taking, as they may work differently when you quit smoking. Chantix dosing may be different if you have kidney problems. The most common side effect is nausea. Patients also reported trouble sleeping and vivid, unusual or strange dreams. Until you know how Chantix may affect you, use caution when driving or operating machinery. The quitting road isn't for sprinters, but stay with it. Studies show 44% were able to quit at the end of 12 weeks. So talk to your doctor about the benefits of quitting smoking and ask if Chantix is right for you.
ABC Tonight.
Shake! Maverick! Ow!
Why would two grown men do this to each other? Politics. ABC's Boston Legal, the final season. All new tonight at 10/9 Central on ABC.
It is our custom at the end of the broadcast to express the hope that everyone has had a good day. Tonight, I suspect everyone has the hope that the country will have a good day tomorrow. 24 months ago, John McCain began running in earnest for president. Barack Obama followed soon thereafter. 24 hours from now, we will begin learning whom the country has chosen. There is a majesty to an election day. We've seen it already. Thousands upon thousands of Americans peacefully, enthusiastically, lining up for hours to take advantage of the expanded right to vote early. Tens of millions more will do it tomorrow. So we close this part of the broadcast by saying, as usual, I'm Charlie Gibson, and I hope you've had a good day. May all of you, no matter your candidate, have a great day tomorrow. And that is the first half of our special edition of World News. For most of you, World News continues after a short break, including a look back at all the twists and turns that have been the hallmarks of this campaign. So for our second half hour, we hope you will stay with us.
One of these two men will soon call this White House home. But to get there, they had to roll through some very tough issues. Now, it all comes down to election night. And for an election this historic, only ABC News, taking over Times Square, New York, and turning the crossroads of the world into your super election headquarters for a live global viewing event. Charlie Gibson, Diane Sawyer, George Stephanopoulos, ABC Election Night 2008.